Okay, we've got the sidewalls in. We're now going to look at actually putting the bosses in. Now, if you look at your plug very carefully, you'll notice the bosses don't actually conform to the center line. So I press my space bar onto the line there, and I'm going to start another sketch. Again, I'm going to do it on that surface there, which is that one in the middle, the one we just created. So space bar, and I'm going to draw a center line from there down to that point there. Okay, so I've now got my main datum reference. If you measure, you've got to measure carefully, and there are various points that we will actually go from. So I'm going to put some more center lines in just to give me that reference. Now I know that if I go down here, just go with me on this, I'll do another center line down around about there. This is to put the top boss in. I know from my measurements I've taken them off a particular surface. This will come clear in a second. So now go on to my dimensions, smart dimensions. I'm going to dimension from that line there, okay, to where I've just put the top of that center line in. And I know from using the verniers that distance should be 2.8. Okay, so let's move that up. Now, the actual points of where, this is another way of doing a circle, this is what I'm showing you, is if I actually measure from that line there, okay, let's give me that there, to that point there, should be a figure of about 13.5. As I say, go with me on this. And again, from that line there, these are just random at the moment actually, so there may be difficult to understand. Just press that again to that point there. That there I know is 15. So that's how I know it's not actually not the center line. Now with circles, if you go up to the circle, pressing the little arrow coming down, you've got two ways of doing circle. Plain circle from the center, or you can use what they call perimeter circle. So that's what I've created, is the perimeter. So I know what these measurements are. So I'm going to go from there, click on there, and then just to close it off onto that line there. So I now know that is the correct diameter for that particular boss. So just select that. I'll leave that there for the moment. I could create the others, but I might do that in another sketch because they're all slightly different. So again, I know that is approximately 1 millimeter. So I'm going to go, and I know that's from the base because I measured the base. So I'm going to go to features, I'm going to go extrude boss base, and you notice that's gone up, but I need to go to the top level. So if you remember rightly, I go with my blind, I go up to surface, and I know it comes parallel with that surface. Okay, but again I want to go to thin features. Now if I go to thin features, I'm going to put a draft on here, actually 1 degree. So go to thin features, let's go to the outside. I want that on the inside. I'll show you a second what I mean. Okay, make sure it's merge results. Okay, I now have just put my boss in there. I'm just going to go on there just to show you, because of the draft. I'll just press that there, spacebar. You'll see that tapers in and out. So when the mold tool comes in, it can actually be pulled out. It doesn't here at the moment, but we can actually look at that later on. So I'm going to come out of the section view tool. I'm going to click on the top section there, which gives me that there. I'll turn it back around because I like to work from bottom to top. Okay, and I'm going to put another center line in. So sketch, back on that surface. This is to do the other two bosses. I can do this all in the one sketch, but it's just to show you particular elements. So I'm going to go center line again. That's my datum point. I can't see that there. There. Okay, I've gone black. So I know that's there. You can see how far off the center that is. Now if I draw another circle, I'll go back to my normal circle. I'm just going to put these random. There's one about there, and I know that diameter is actually 7 mils, so that's 3.5 radius. And the next one I'm going to put in about there, and I know that one is about 3.6. I have no idea why these are so different. If it was me, I'd try and make them all consistent, but there we go. So if you just bear with it, I can show you this. I'm going to now put in another some centre lines. I'll call them construction rather than centre. So I actually no, forget that. I don't need to. I can just measure off now. So go to Smart Dimensions. I'm going to pick on that inner line again from there to there, and I know that from having measured it is 21 millimeters. Okay, and I know that the other one is 29, so same point to there. I know that's going to go to 29. Okay, they're still blue. I haven't given them a measurement for the diameter of the circumference, even though it says it in there. I've got to manually do that. But what I haven't got is a height up or down. So this time I'm actually going to use datum up here. I'm going to go from, that's that inner line. You can choose any line you want as long as it's consistent to do it, or wherever you're measuring from. Now I know that is 20. That'll push up, still hasn't gone black, and the other one is 30. So go same point down to there, and that should be 30. And if I took a measurement on there, I know that's 7, so it should go black now. And that one there is 7.2. That's black as well. So I have the basis there for what I actually need to do. But what I'm going to do is something slightly different, just to show you another way of actually doing it at Boss. Well, actually, I can now, if I just go to offset entities, because I know that again, this one here is the same as that one. I'm just going to go to offset and go to offset by 1, and I'll click on there. Okay, I want that internal, not external, so I just need to reverse that. Give that a green tick. And this next one is 2 millimeters. So go to offset again, I click on there, I change that figure to 2, but it's internal, so again reverse it, and there I have got the sketches that I require. Now I know in this one there's a little slip, but we'll go into that later on. So just go to Features menu, and then I go to Extrude Boss Base. Okay, and again I know they're the same height as that, so I can pick offset from, not offset from surface, up to surface. I can either pick that one, or I can pick the outside. Just pick the outside, so I know they're all the same. And I'll put a little bit of draft on, 1 degrees, and there I have my bosses in place. Now have a look inside those bosses. You will see a tiny little sprue at the top. Now don't ask me why they're in there. It's about probably about a millimetre high. If you get your verniers, the best way to do that is drop the end of the vernier to the point and to the top of it. I can show you this in a lesson, and then do it to the outside. So I think they're about 1 millimetre, maybe 1.5 millimetres wide. So I'm just going to draw both of those in. I'm going to do it again in another sketch. Go to Sketch, Sketch, click on that there, go to my circle. Now because I've got centres there, I can pick up on that centre and I can draw out. Okay, and I'm going to do the same there because I know they're both identical. Now I can use my defining aspect. I can click on there and click on that one there, and then go to equal. So those circles are now equal. If I put a smart dimension on one of them, okay, let's do a diameter of 2 millimeters. Now actually no, change it. Let's go 1.5 because I think they're slightly smaller. That's fine. Go to Features, go to Extrude Boss Base. This time I want to keep it on blind, but I want to go a distance of 1.5 millimeters. Okay, double check that, give that a green tick. Now if you look just slightly, but if you notice on yours they've got a rounded top. So just while I'm here, I'm just going to go to fillet, and I'm going to put a fillet of, what should we say, yeah, it's got to be 1.5. I need to change that back to symmetrical. Change that to 0.75 because it's half. Click on there and come down on that one there. Now I have actually forgotten there to put the draft in, but I think you'll probably get away with that. But you can go back later and do that, as I say. So there we have our bosses in place. Now there is actually a fourth boss which we will look at in a bit. So have a go there, because the next stage we're actually going to put the ribs in, and that is the rib between those two there, that there. We'll do the cut out of this here, and then the rib that goes across to there. And then down here, these I think cap the fuse or separate the areas off. And it is important you're accurate, and it will take you a little bit of time. But again, try and use thin feature. That will help you a great deal. And I will do that in the next video.